a second-hand coat. I want a yacht, not a cheap little boat. I tell my daddy not to be depressed. All I need for happiness is the best. I want a diamond, nothing else has appeal. And when it comes to men, you know how I feel. I want a real man. Give me a real man, you know what I mean. I want a real man. Oh, real man, you're what I need.
What is up? Hey, Dwayne, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for dropping in, pal. Yeah, I'm ready to go. Right? Let's do this. Hey, welcome to Real Men. I'm your host, Tim Steeves. We've assembled another all-star cast of yakka yackers, and we're going to get it started with Tim Rykert is here today. Good to meet you there, Timmy. How are you doing, buddy?
Top draw, Tim. Good to be here.
Also here, Steve Brinder.
Yo, Tim, what's happening?
Good to, Steve with his street cred out right away. Anne-Marie Scheffler has joined us, the lovely and talented Anne-Marie Scheffler.
Thanks.
And always the outrageous Dwayne Hill.
It's a lie, people.
You never know what you're going to hear when Dwayne drops by, which brings us to Dwayne for a little bit of a commentary to kick us off. Go ahead, Dwayne.
Transgenderism. Yeah, what does that mean? Well, it covers everything from cross-dressing to sex change operations. Mostly men do it. But are these men real men? Well, it depends on your opinion of what a real man is. Like, if courage defines a real man, I'd say it takes a ton of courage to put on a micro mini and walk the streets of Toronto at 2 in the morning, half in the bag. That takes a lot of courage. And basically, if you get a sex change operation, they split your penis down the middle, invert it inside you. That takes a ton of courage. I caught myself in my fly once and almost went into a coma. So are they real men? Yeah, by definition, I think they're real men. But also by definition, I think real men wouldn't go through months of surgery. I don't think real men like to bathe. I think they'd rather scratch their bag against something rather than do it themselves. That's a real man to me. Maybe I'm wrong. Tim?
What am I going to do with him? You know, what are you going to do? I knew transgenderism, and we'll get Dwayne to do the, you know, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Timmy, get us started here. What do you think?
Well, I understand how these people feel because I am a race horse jockey trapped in a basketball player's body, and that's hard. I've lived through life. But let's hear from Anne-Marie. She is the product of the most successful sex change operation in history.
Can you tell?
Anne-Marie Scheffler. I have no idea.
Did you know?
I just found out a minute ago.
Dougie, I can't believe it, Dougie.
I know, and like the face, you can't even know.
I didn't even notice. The breasts look great,
Do
though.
they?
Hey,
Do you want to give him a squeeze?
Are you kidding? Are the Kennedys gun shy? Who said that?
I like the point Dwayne was making in the commentary, though, about, you know, because you wouldn't think automatically, oh, of course they're not real men. But hey, man, they've stood up to the entire world and have said, I'm this and I'm changing, and then the slicing of the penis.
I couldn't agree with you more. You know, people, I'm really tired. I'm tired of, you know, homophobic diatribe, which basically says, oh, you know, basically you turn gay. It's like, you know, I think the toughest thing, I think the reason, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I think the reason that a gay culture is a very open culture is because they've already laid their souls on the line. They got nothing left to lose. What are you gonna do? Kill me? I mean, I've showed you everything I am.
Yeah, and I think it's harder too to go from being a man to a woman. You know, because if I had the I do. But, you know, if I had that transgender problem, the transsexuality problem, you know, I would rather be going from a female to a man, because just think about it physically, like, you don't want to be, like, having this big square jaw with, you know, and shaving and all this stuff, trying to look female.
Well, that boils down to the whole cross-dressing thing. Like, we had Enza Supermodel here as a guest, and I said to Enza, I said, you know, I don't have a problem with cross-dressers, but why do they have to dress like such incredible sluts?
Exactly.
You know, like, let's face it, guys have guys' knees. I mean, you got these bony knees, and the guy's got meaty calves and pipes. And I said, why don't you wear frills and satins and bows? She's like, oh, that sounds like a 60s queen.
Yeah, you
Not that Enza sounds like that, but she's like, that's
That was pretty
the old
close,
days.
so Dwayne. That's pretty close.
Thank you.
If you go to a cross-dressing bar, you'd think you'd see half slutty, half dressed like businesswomen, right? And
Yeah,
then,
or at least, I mean, I would wear petticoats. I'd be like, you know who I am today? Scarlett O'Hara. All the world is mine.
Dwayne, there's actually a cross-dresser in Halifax. When I was living out in Halifax, there was this guy, he's an older man, like in his 50s at least, and he would cross-dress, but only from the neck down. Like, from the neck up, he's just dude with gray hair, this old guy. With the neck down, he's got the business, and like you say, Dwayne, not a slut, the business suit,
And
exactly.
there are
And carries
some
an umbrella in case it starts raining men.
Yeah, but I don't think they're
And
real
there's-
men.
I don't think they're real men.
You don't
I think
think
that
they're-
guys want to be women. And I think they're screwed up until they get the operation, until
Well,
they
no,
actually
it's-
change over.
Well, what I- truly
I don't
happens-
think it can be two.
It truly happens to them. In fact, it happens in the womb. Can you imagine the mother's guilt? Because they have discovered that it's hormonal changes when the child is being formed in your body that screws up the...
Stress
And you can end up with, I mean, a child can be born with both sets of genitalia. I happen to get 2 helpings of male, which I was very lucky. I mean,
Really?
I dodged that bullet.
Oh.
Oh.
I'd like to have something.
I stirred your coffee this morning, Steve.
Oh, it
Drop
was so good.
No hands.
Does that mean you have penises hanging from your nipples as well? I don't understand what the two
No
helpings
feeling
of-
at all in the nipples.
It's a sad thing, too, because people who are born with this transsexual problem, I'm talking about the real problem being you're not feeling you're the person you are in the wrong body. 50%, there's a 50% rule that says 50% will kill themselves before they're 30. I mean, I'm not 30 yet.
Now,
but-
we had ends on, should the government pay for this then? Are these people medical cases for, you know, if they're going to commit suicide, if it's that
It's like
stressful on
Logan's
them,
Run by
they
should
Shirley.
we as
Viagra.
society, we take care of everybody else,
Do
should
they
we
pay
take
for
care of them
Viagra?
and help them to be
Do
the
they pay
people
for
they are?
Viagra? How do you Sure. know that? I mean,
Do they pay for Viagra?
I think they do.
No,
You
I don't
should
think they
know,
do.
Steve.
What?
Oh,
I know everything.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a wise man. I know
Anne-Marie,
everything.
if you start busting Steve for that, we might have to mention
No,
you're
they do.
under 30. Come on now. Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh.
I got to stick up
He's
for my
the
man
guy who
Steve,
called me a
you know.
cougar earlier.
I didn't call you a cougar.
You asked.
I said you remind me of a cougar. No, I didn't say.
I'm a Leo, and that's as far as it goes.
Well, I mean, as far as that goes, I think. I think, if, like I said, if you define a man as courageous, it takes a lot of guts to put on a micro mini, tape the old package down, and go for a walk down Wellesley Street. I don't think
Absolutely.
It's,
Yeah.
because
I don't
I
think
mean,
a man thing.
it's shoulders and the whole. It's a brave thing, but I don't think it's a man thing. I
That's
think
just
the
so
women can do
backwards.
that.
Like
But we
in,
don't
in
actually.
ancient
Wait, what is-
civilizations, they used to revere these people, like, right? And it was a big special thing. One out of I don't know how many people are born special and different, and they used to revere them. And now you're gonna what? Not say that they're real men because like, what's your problem with that?
Okay, that's good. We got to get out on that. Great. Thanks, panel. Good job. When we come back, we're going to talk about single-father families. And is that just as good as mom makes? I think so. Also, we asked Joe Blow on the street, what makes a real man these days?
These days, well, you qualified it. Tattoos, long hair, leather clothes with studs, gumshoes, you know, and cursing.
Welcome back to Real Men. We're going to talk about single fathers this segment, and Tim Rykert's going to get it kicked off with a little commentary. Oh, Timmy!
How many women out there would like to date a guy who was raised by a guy? Not a guy who was raised by a guy and a girl, no woman involved in the raising of this child whatsoever, just a guy. Is he going to be your dream mate, do you think? Or is he going to be your worst nightmare? You're looking at the perfect Marion-type guy right here. I was raised by 2 women, my mother and my sister. I learned to put the toilet seat down so long ago, I don't remember learning to put the toilet seat down. I've just always done it. Housebroken? Hello? There was a rule in my house when I was growing up that any type of television programming whatsoever, anything, took precedence over sports. This meant my sister could walk in the living room at any time while I was watching a hockey game and change the channel to Facts of Life. This was my life. Now, what about a guy raised by a guy? Is he going to be any good at all? Never mind just a guy, a divorced guy. Yeah, you better watch out for them women, kid. They'll screw you every time. Is he going to grow up to be your dream date? Now, maybe I'm stereotyping. Maybe I'm being a little hard on guys, because I'd like to think that I could do it. I'd like to think if I was suddenly forced into the situation of being a single father, I would do quite fine. But I think the reason I would do quite fine is because I was raised by a woman. What do you think, Tim?
Well, I think those are interesting points you make, Tim. I was watching you on the TV here.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah, they're clever here. We make some TV around here. Good job, man. What do you think, Dwayne? Single father as good as single mother?
This week on a very special episode of My Father Tim, the Asexual. Son, leave the seat down. But Dad, there's no women here. There might be one day. I'm kidding. My parents actually separated when I was 18 months old, which is a very important time. I was still breastfeeding, I think. Actually, I was weaned at about 16 with a crowbar. But, you know, as far as a father goes, my dad was a totally fair weather father. I think it's one of those things where it's like if you hit a home run, he takes credit for it. That's my kid. And if you strike out, it's like, I think he's gay. He gets it from his mother. He likes to wear dresses. So I think that fathers can do it, but I mean, we're hunters, you know. We go out, we kill. Hey, look what we killed. That's a skunk. Oh yeah, I thought it smelled funny. Sorry.
Well, from a woman's perspective, doesn't every woman thank God that men were raised by a woman at some point in their life, so they've learned a few things by the time they get to you?
Oh, absolutely. I think so. But what you brought up made me think, what would it be like to be a daughter raised just by a father, like no woman around? And I think that they say that
They won the gold medal. They're the national hockey team.
Oh, is that what happens to them? But the father's care is so important, or just the father being there, I think that it's so important for a woman, because otherwise you grow up needy and you're looking for male attention because your daddy didn't give it to you.
But you know what? A lot of people say that a lot of men who are raised by just women don't have a male role model to define him.
Exactly.
Steve,
Well, you're looking at
him,
him, so what's wrong with me? Where's my...
Well, okay, it's great, but there's always, we can't generalize, that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying there's a lot of people who, it's very hard to discipline boys. You gotta, you're a good boy, and thank God for that for your mom. But there are kids who need that, come here, no, you, come here.
You sound like my mom.
And,
Well, I mean, let's face it.
They're not going to get it.
The father was the one who was always like, well, wait till your father gets home. But let's face it, the mother was the one who always told the discipline. And I stopped lighting fires when I was like 15. And I think it was a phase. No matter what my mother says, or that damn therapist, Dr. Phillips, you're so Sorry,
Someone like Oprah.
Never mind.
Dwayne.
Oprah.
Dwayne, do you figure there's a lot of good single fathers out there? They're just more rare? Is that,
You know what?
is that all it is?
I think guys really want to try. I think it's like that Simpsons one where it's like, don't worry, the kids are fine, Marge. Hey, Homer, can we have a can of frosting for lunch? Sure. Because he doesn't think about it. Guys, they want to please their kids. It's like, don't cry. Here, have a hand grenade. No, don't give the baby a hand grenade. It's deactivated.
I actually lived with a single father. I was in a relationship, and when I met the guy, his son was 4 years old, and when I left, his son was turning 7, and he was not a good father, and he relied a lot on me. Oh, I think I'm blowing my own horn here.
There's a lot of bad
Somebody's got to
mothers,
breastfeed
too.
tonight.
There's a lot of bad mothers too, but we always associate that, for the breakup, they should go with the mother. And I think a lot of guys get bad deals on this.
Yeah, for sure. And
Because I know I would be a good father, Timmy would be a good father, I don't know. But there is, and I'd like to at least get a chance.
If you're raised by a mother,
Exactly.
My kid would learn to write good, threatening
Steve, if
letters.
I was raised by a father, I know, I'd be a little bit less respectful towards women right now. I would be. I just would, because guys...
Especially the stupid ones.
It takes a mother to pound that home to you, And I just think, so what if a guy raised by a guy then becomes a single father, and
then you start dating a lippy girl, and it's like,
Hey, Dwayne,
Dad told me.
Hey, Dwayne, do you think...
I was going to put a singles ad in the paper. Sorry to interrupt. I was going to put a singles ad in the paper.
Screw me. I'm only the host. Just screw
host.
me,
Go ahead.
Dwayne. Screw me.
Tim?
No, I'm sure that 5-minute riff was going somewhere.
Sorry.
Do you think you'd make a good single father, Dwayne?
I think I'd make a terrible single father. I have no life skills. I'm one of those guys. I'd be one of those fathers who'd be like, so how's your baby? Oh my God, the baby. The car. You see this car drive past the baby on the road, like, no! Take good care of him! He loves chocolate!
All right, we're getting out of here.
We'll make
That's
more.
Plenty. That's plenty from you freaks. Try to have a sensible discussion.
3 ovaries. She's a
We're going to
breeding
flip it to
factory.
something we can handle around here. When we come back, we're going to talk about sleeping with a coworker. That we can handle. We're coming right back. Unbelievable. Welcome back to the show. I'd like to start this segment by apologizing to all the great single fathers out there. We didn't handle that topic very well. I didn't think. But anyway, we're going to have fun with this one. Sleeping with a coworker. Good idea, bad idea? Dwayne, start us off, buddy.
First of all the single fathers out there, I just want to say that you're too lazy to write in anyway. And as far as sleeping with a coworker goes, smell my finger. Just kidding. I used to work in the service industry, so I was like a waiter. And, I think it's inevitable because when you get, semi-good-looking people who are half in the bag, you're going to hump.
I think it's really dangerous.
It's great that you demonstrated, Dwayne, because
Thank
I'm sure
you.
when
Well,
you said
I know
hump,
you were
that
asking-
wasn't nearly descriptive enough.
You
What
had
did
questions
he-
earlier, and I just want to make sure that you know that.
Steve, what do you got on your mind there,
I
buddy?
think it's dangerous. You got to be very careful because everybody knows your own business. It can backfire for you. If it doesn't work out, you got to work with this person, in the future.
The
Or
length
fire
of the-
them. Or fire them.
Yeah, but
you
you
were
got-
terrible at bed, Steve.
But
So.
that's another thing. If you sleep with someone, it's a power thing too. Are
Yeah,
you
this
really?
may shock you all if I say this, but that's the only way I get to go to bed with someone is a coworker. I'm totally.
Absolutely.
That is great news for the panel.
Wow.
Did I say that out loud?
You have your own car? Oh
That's
my
rocking
God.
good news for everybody on this show.
Sex makes the office go round, baby. Morale just drops to an all-time low if there's no fraternization.
Yeah, that's how
where
do
are
you
you gonna
meet
meet
them?
You know what
you
I'm
know?
talking about? I mean, you guys have no idea what. There's nothing
Well, Timmy,
dangerous. There's nothing.
Tim,
Sure it
actually,
is.
here on this show, we've got quite an attractive staff, hair, makeup, wardrobe. It's off the hook. Do you agree? And
Yeah.
right now, the Vegas line is that it's about 50-50 that someone's going to hook up right here on Real Men. So we,
Wow.
we could keep abreast
Yeah.
of that. No pun intended.
Just be on the safe side. I've mixed sperm into all of their coffees, so somebody's going to get pregnant with my love child.
You know what's great is when you
unless
see a-
that report was wrong. Anyway,
But the point is, I think it's very natural to sleep
When did you
with
land on this
coworkers.
planet?
I don't know. I heard there was more
Hang
gravy.
on,
I
Amber. You
heard
was
there
just
was
saying
more
sometimes
gravy.
it's
Sorry.
natural to sleep with coworkers, and let's listen
Is
to
it
that.
natural?
It is natural. We're adults. What do adults do? We have
course it
sex.
is. We bump uglies.
Chances are, you're
It's the
gonna
people
get.
you're most around and you most talk to and you have like interests and you're around them enough to you get to know them without like in a bar or something, and like Anne-Marie
I
is
cannot
just
wait to see your child. It's going to be like opaque. You'll be able to watch the food digest, like hold a flashlight to its stomach. It's going to be so clear.
Well, there's no reason to go there,
It's
Dwayne.
blonde. It's going to cancel each other out.
The Nordic dream child.
My
there.
child's been in the
Stay
room for 10 minutes.
The only
Sorry.
thing that's-
Anyways,
the only
back to
thing
the
that,
topic.
That matters is when you do sleep with someone, there's an ugly breakup, and you're
see?
hanging around going, "How do I get out of this job?" And you're wondering why you became like a plastic surgeon when you started off being like a.
You know what's great is company Christmas parties. They're the best because you know what they do now? They say, "Should we bring spouses?" And all the women go, "Yes." And all the guy goes, "Hell no." And you can see
I
that
bet
all
you're getting
the
a
time.
lot more women nowadays
Well, the
going,
thing
hell
about
no.
too is
You
like
think
the
so?
guys
Oh,
are all
yeah.
saying guys are all saying no because like finally I get a chance to hit on my secretary. And the secretary is thinking, "You hit on me every day of the week."
I know, right.
And that's dangerous too because you can be a sex
Junkie?
No.
Ologist? A torium? Anything with the word sex on it, I'll take.
I give up. Okay, I give up.
No, but seriously,
I
you
think
can't.
we're all agreeing.
Offices be damned. The company be damned. Sex is going to go through your office. You can't stop it. Don't
It's like
try
a
and stop
whirlwind.
it.
Open the
If
door.
it screws your office up, too bad. Like it's life.
Roman Catholic Church, hello.
I heard that they said it's better to sleep with a temp. If you're going to sleep with someone in your office, sleep with a temp. So, ladies, if you're looking for
Oh man, it's so
If
ugly.
and
Be
she's
a
good in
temp.
bed, make her a perm. Make her move from a temp to a perm.
yeah, that's a great idea.
And if you're terrible in bed and she forgives it, make her a permanent.
Dwayne, have you ever slept with a coworker?
Well, yeah, I work in the service industry, and it's crawling with beautiful women and women with low self-esteem, and that's how I usually, and they're
That's
drunk.
how you get over, isn't it?
Well, that's you. I mean, no, it's I have, and it's you know what? The thing is, the whole thing is how mature you are about it. Let's face it. If you're out to have a great time, you
Dwayne's
can have a lot of fun.
maturity, if anything has been established here on Real Men, Dwayne Hill's maturity level, that bar is set pretty freaking high.
Why is the snot sticking to my finger?
I've had several very good, long-lasting relationships that came out of an office. So it's.
Well, 20% of all people who get married do it at work.
I believe
they find their spouse at work. But
I totally
And
believe it.
70% lie about it. I mean,
What about
really.
you, Steve? You ever sleep with a coworker? Share, Steve, share.
no.
You're a teacher. Teachers are dirty dogs.
Oh, listen.
They're like dwarfs.
Yeah, but you're a professional, and you can be called for sexual harassment. You got to be.
But students, Steve,
You got to know.
students,
No.
grade 12, they're
you
getting
gotta-
up there.
Oh, you should see. Oh, forget it. No, you got to be. But you're a professional. You got to separate business from pleasure. I think it's dangerous, incredibly dangerous.
All right,
when
let's
you do
finish
it.
this segment so we can go screw somebody right now.
Put our
Because you
got
can
chicks
be
back there
charged
behind
with
the
sexual
camera.
harassment.
We got a chick
You
right
can be charged
here?
with sexual
I'm going to hump the
harassment.
deli platter backstage so hard. It'll be 2 tomorrow. Little baby deli platters running around. Are you my daddy? Kind of. Like on my shirt.
As long as Dwayne says hump 4 more times and
I'm
Tim
telling
says
you.
screw, I think we're doing our mandate here on Real Men. I'm just teasing you, man.
know.
It's fine. You're good. Good to
Why don't
go.
you screw your hump off, Tim?
I'm Humpy Von Screwington, and I'm
Okay,
a
right.
sexologist. Listen, we've all done it, right? You've done it, right?
Yeah.
You slept with a coworker. You slept with a coworker. You won't admit it. That's okay. You're married. I have too.
And did it end ugly ever, Dwayne?
Yeah, well, I cried
Tell-
a lot.
tell
no,
me
I
the
don't
worst-
think so. No, I don't think so. I think it's actually always gone really well. It has gotten ugly for other people to the point where, I mean, for coworkers of mine, like to the point where it's been like, wow, she writes 300 letters. What did she do before she met you? You know? Like, how can
Can I say something? The worst thing that happened out of sleeping with a coworker is that like the job was over, and then I wasn't interested in him anymore because he wasn't part of that really cool community where everyone thought he was the best-looking guy in the group, and then the group was no longer. And I'm sitting there going,
Okay,
we got nothing. in
That's
common."
good. That's good. We got to get out. That's good. We're out of control here in Real Men today. Would you sleep with a coworker? We're going to a couple minutes left. We'll talk about it some more with the effervescent Dwayne Hill and company coming back. We're out of control. Hey, welcome back to the show. They've beaten me into submission this show. My referee skills put to the test. We're talking about sleeping with a coworker. Steve, you had a comment to make. I wanted to hear.
I think it's really dangerous if you're a guy, because you could be charged with sexual harassment. You have to know when. And what I guess I'm outnumbered here, but I just think a lot of times people who have workplace affairs, it's a power trip. It's usually, it's not, they come equal. It's like one person's more powerful than the other. And is there really love involved or sex involved, or is it just you getting off? What's that?
You need to get
Steve
some,
Brinder,
Steve.
if you're
on the show? Okay.
If you're worried about a sexual harassment charge, I'm going to sexually charge that Steve Brinder when brake lines seem to be kind of mushy. Cliff ahead, Brinder!
You have no idea how dangerous it is. You don't.
You can kill them.
When you teach in school, if I go like this, if I touch a girl like this, I could be charged with sexual harassment.
So you may as well go for the breasts.
But just touch, yeah. Right. And lose
Like
everything.
a girl like this, like the same thing.
It's very dangerous. I think we're being too light on this today.
Well, Steve, you're innocent.
Yeah.
You're
Well,
a
you're right,
teacher.
you're
You're
right.
a teacher, and there's kids involved. We're talking about consenting adults.
Yeah, but you got the president of the company, and you got a
He's
person
probably
answering the
screwing
phones.
someone himself. You're gonna
definitely screwing someone
restrain
himself.
while the president's getting
Because
off?
the kids who are interested in me, it's a power trip. They're not attracted to me. They're attracted to power.
But that's human nature. You're not going to go for the, hey, look, that weakened male has a limp. And the guy behind him is killing him with a rock. I'll take his penis.
Hey, Dwayne, would you prefer would you sleep with the boss and hesitate with a coworker? Do you know what I mean?
Well,
would you fire upwards? You know what I mean?
Would I sleep with a boss? I'm a guy. Of course we'd sleep with a boss. Like, Dwayne, come into my office. Why don't you take some dictation? I hope she means sex. She did. Oh, it's all happening so fast. But slide off the desk. Let's go.
And it's not even to get up in the company sleeping with the boss. It's just a fantasy sleeping with the boss.
Exactly.
I don't even care if this gets me a
Stop
promotion.
doing that to that.
Have you ever seen these bosses? Come on.
Well, I mean, they're not worse than me.
That's right. Look at Dwayne.
If you're sleeping with me, you've definitely got some issues,
All right, that's all the time we have today on Real Men, and it was an interesting episode, I think, from my van. Look, I can't control them, people. Tune in next time on Real Men, where men get real.
Yeah.
There's still time. There's still time. We forgot about the angry sex thing.
Credit shot. What do I do?
That was even. I didn't even cover it.
Sexual harassment. There you go.
That's my homework.
Homework.
See, private.